It is the Premier League's turn to go head to head in the 5-head / lower league destroyer tactic. Let's check out and see how they do. Last time out was Birmingham, Walsall, and Portsmouth, all vying for the top spots in their individual leagues. But now we've got the Premier League 3 going head to head with the same tactic to see how they all do with this lower league tactic, but used in the Prem. So we've gone through the tactic before, but we'll go through it quickly again. You start out with a sweeper keeper in support in back. You have complete wingbacks on the left and right, ball playing defender, and a central defender in defend. Ball winning midfielder in defend is the only centralized midfielder. Inverted winger in support on the other side. Attacking midfielder in support centrally, and then up top you have an advanced forward in attack on the left, a deep lying forward on the right. Mentality is balanced. It is a stinger low league and chip style. But attacking with a standard approach play is pass into space, overlap on the left and right, focus play down the left and right. Passing directness is shorter, tempo is slightly higher, and the final third is low crosses. In transition, you have counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and distribute to the center backs. You have out of possession, high press line of engagement, standard defensive line, and trigger press much more often. Now, how did it do with our three teams? Tottenham in third, which is a fantastic result, 70 points, maybe on the high side of average. Newcastle in 8th with 66, again, probably about average. And then Wolves in 13th with 47. I'm going to say that's probably lower than average, but not too much. This is roughly where these teams should be. Tottenham probably a little lower, probably in the 5th to 7th spots. But apparently Arsenal didn't do all that well. Chelsea just don't do well in this. Man United don't do well, apparently. But this league, this is where they end up. Schedule-wise for Tottenham, they don't start out very well. They got a couple of losses here and there. It is very spotty, but you see a lot more greens, which is nice. They do have some Champions League, some good triumphs, some bad woes against Real Madrid, 0-1 and 4-5 away from Bernabeu. But Arsenal EFL Cup drop out, Premier League against Chelsea, 0-3. But then the second half of the season starts, FA Cup, you continue on. Actually, the second half is much better. Champions League round of 16, though, 1-1 at home draw, and then a 1-1 at home draw, but losing out in penalties. You're kicked out of the Champions League right at the round of 16. But FA Cup, you continue on until this loss against Fulham, semifinals 1-2, and then wow, just kick the bucket in May. You win your last match of the season, but that is an awful set of results. A lot less matches for Newcastle, starting out very well, minus that 1-3 loss to Liverpool. You do continue on, but unfortunately the second half of October and all through November, just awful. 2-3 loss against Wolves in the EFL Cup third round. FA Cup dropout, third round, Brentford. And then it's spotty up until this 3-0 win against Nottingham Forest, and then you just storm the rest of the season. I don't understand how these work sometimes, but they had a fantastic end, no question about it. Wolves, definitely spotty right off the bat. Only 2 wins in the first month. And then, a fantastic October. You're continuing on in the EFL Cup, so they really prioritize that apparently. But as you could see, 2-3 loss in the EFL Cup final second leg against Southampton. 2-2 draw against Southampton. So you're out of that. 1-2 loss in the FA Cup fifth round against West Ham. And then, April, from Leeds down all the way through that Liverpool loss. Awful. that alone would have gotten you completely fired, kicked to the curb by everyone on earth. Transfer-wise, you do have Gabriel Barbosa again, Donny van de Beek, Tony Weston, but Victor Nelson comes in from Galatasaray for 16.25 million. You don't have very high outs. Newcastle's big one right there, Konrad Laimer from RB Leipzig for 37 million. You do have Milan Skriniar we've seen. The rest of them we've seen, but that one is a new one from what I can remember. But I wonder how did he do? Not too bad. 14 plus 2, 690. Not great, but could have done better. And then outs, same as usual. Very low amounts or loans. Not really dipping too far for Wolves. Same as always. And then same outs as usual, so nothing really there. Squad-wise, always remember, take a pause where you want to see your team. Definitely 7-4 for Kane and Barbosa, 7-4-5. 35 plus 1 matches. Wow, that is a fantastic result for someone who came in later in the season. Newcastle having a sea of green itself. A lot of these players are either not at the club or low appearances like the 7-3-5 for Dubravka, only 2 appearances. But you've got some good ones. 715 for Alexander Isaac. Callum Wilson with 707. And then Wolves, yeah, you got a couple in there. 704 for Ait Nouri, 717 for that dude. So there's a couple in there. And as we saw in the last time in the lower leagues, you are shaky in defense and good in attack, except for Walsall was actually good in defense, I believe, and very good in attack. You do have some numbers that are well above or somewhat above Premier League average, some below. And then defensively, not great. Newcastle, you're good in both defense and attack. You do have some numbers that are somewhat above. Dribbles per game, just no one seems to get into. But you do have some nice defending numbers. Some could be better. Tackles per game would be nice. Clearances per game, definitely. And then Wolves, shaky in defense, good in attack. Again, some numbers above, a lot more than are just on Premier League average. And then defensively, an entire side that is not there that should be. And fouls per game, yeah, it's a little bit above Premier League average, not too far though. Premier League overview, most goals. You got Liverpool there with 98. Wow, 98 to 87. But Tottenham with third, 74. Newcastle in sixth with 62. Fewest shots against, nobody. Wow. Possession, you've got Tottenham and Wolves. Most dribbles, nobody. Fewest conceded, Newcastle. Same with most shutouts. Nobody for tackles. Best pass, wow, there's a lot missing. Newcastle and Wolves, most shots for, though. And then most points per game, as you would expect. Tottenham in third. Overview, most goals. You do have Callum Wilson in there. Kane and Barbosa as well. 15 up to 17. Most assists, Neto with 13. Danjuma and Trippier also in the mix. Most player of the match awards. Harry Kane with 5. That's not a whopping amount. But nobody. St. Maxim in there you go. Dribbles made as well. Neto. Fewest conceded. Most shutouts. Hugo Lloris is in there. He did stay this entire season, I believe. Most tackles won, nobody. Key pass to Trippier's in there. Sarabi is not. Oh, yeah, he is. All the way down at the bottom of the list this time. Most shots, Isaac and Cunha. And then back to most goals. And then finishing out as usual, top goal scorer is Harry Kane with 25. I wonder how Barbosa came in. How long? Overall, he had 20 goals, so not too far off from Kane. But highest average rating was Barbosa with 745, as well as most assists, 14. And then most player of the match awards, Kane and Barbosa just completing it all. 7 player of the match awards apiece. For Newcastle, Callum Wilson with 17 goals, highest average rating, 717 for Trippier. Assists the same with Trippier with 11, and then most player of the match awards, Trippier gets the trifecta with 5. And then Wolves, Kalajic, is that it? And Sarabia, 17 goals apiece, spreading the love out. Kalajic with 717. What is it with the 17 number? 717 with highest average rating. Neto with most assists with 19. There's bucking the trend. And then 5 player of the match awards for Neto. Overall, though, the tactic did not do as great of a job as it did with our lower leagues, so definitely used with the lower leagues. It did some okay numbers, but again, any tactic would give you, if it's working somewhat well, will give you the same roundabout numbers. I definitely think that we've covered tactics in these tactic talks that have done a lot better with these 3 teams, so I would check with those first. But if you're in a lower league team, Birmingham, Walsall, or Portsmouth, yeah, this might do really well. But that is it for me, Sefin FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.